Good morning, SOC 100 crew. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. I feel like my mic is actually really high, by the way. I just saw like it's spiking in volume. How's everyone doing? Let me know. Am I like really loud right now? I'm fine. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. It's showing my volume like super high. I'm not sure what's going on, but as long as you can hear me, so that's good. Like if I sound like before, then that's good, but let me know otherwise if my voice starts to break up and stuff. I'm gonna fix up the chat a little bit over here. How's everyone doing? Patricia, Karina, 6-star, original Black Hammer. Cool. Good to have you with us. Super early for you. Awesome. Six Degrees, thanks for the sub. You are now a defender of level effect. Welcome. I've put in a request for some more emotes. I'm just waiting for Twitch to go and approve them. Takes a little bit of time. So you'll get some additional emotes and stuff. Eric, good morning. So we have a special stream today. We've got a really big special stream going on today. Hope everyone's excited. The first part of the stream, we're going to be going through the last networking lab over here and doing a little bit of malware traffic analysis. This is the first time that everyone's going to see us extracting objects from a captured PCAP, doing a little bit of analysis. This is a bit of an early teaser to the cybersecurity content coming up later on. And then we have Doug, one of our contributing instructors. He's going to hop on and he's prepared a little adversary tactics analysis exercise where he's captured some traffic of an attack and he's just going to walk you through it, kind of explain what's going on, just give some room for questions. And that's going to be sort of like, I guess, a teaser, if you will. It'll be a bit of a teaser for what's to come, like where you're going, what you should be expecting to learn in the future, but just some cool stuff to kind of show you what you can really do with the network traffic analysis and a bit of an intro to where we're going. So pretty exciting times. Tom, good morning. Black Hammer, thanks for the follow as well. KS teasers and spoilers for the upcoming bundles. Maybe I'll give a teaser tomorrow. Maybe I'll give a small teaser tomorrow, but we'll see. Who here wants to become the SOC analyst of death? Who wants to become the SOC analyst of AI and death? We got some cool stuff coming up in those bundles. Cap City Gaming. Hey. Voice scrambling, the picosecond over there. Did anyone else hear some voice issues? Let me know. We haven't had voice issues for like a while, like I think 2 months. So let me know if something's going on. There's some mic crackling. I think that's the volume. That's what I mean. I think it's a little too loud. 1 second. Okay, what about now? That might be better, yeah? Better so far, yeah. It was going red line, like it was going way too loud, so something was going on. So far better, yeah. Cool. Demoria, it's intermittent. Morning, nice to have you as well. Pariah, Kumo. Nice, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I've got a bit of different setup today because we have Doug here joining us. So I've got my like multi multi-tenant stream going on. So it's actually, we're inside of like a virtual room that I'm then streaming into OBS, and then I'm actually streaming to Twitch. So there it is again. Okay, 1 second. Let's turn it even more down. Let's keep me inside the green range. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. It's still going too high. 1 second. Let's see what's going on. Let's make sure all the connectors are good too. Okay. Let me just turn the amplitude down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to just talk a little bit again about random things, and I'm just going to say this and that and a little bit of whatever, and talk a little bit more about what we're doing today. Let me know if you're hearing actually any more static. I brought the amplitude down a little bit, so it shouldn't be spiking like that anymore, but let me know otherwise if so. If not, then we're going to have to find another solution over here. I might have to stop the stream, go back to the old one, and then start it again later with Doug joining inside of the stream later. Any static now? Still spiking a bit? Damn. Not dropping any packets or anything. No, it's quiet. Desktop audio is fine. Mic is muted. Kumo, you were here before when we had some of those issues with like the static. Is that the same thing going on again? Is that what it sounds like? Same exact? No. Why is that back? I wonder if there's interference going on. Wait a minute. I wonder if it's this. Didn't I have these on before when it was doing that? Wait, hold on. Okay. What about now? I'm going to keep talking. Is the spike back at all? Is anything weird going on? Excuse me. I'm just going to keep talking about random things, saying this and that. Today is a nice day. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. Adversary tactics stream. Blah, blah, blah. So far, so good. Okay. So no issues. Still talking. No random spikes. Tell us how much you love Grogu. I love Grogu. Grogu's pretty cool. Just keep asking me questions. I'll keep talking. No, it just happened. Ah, damn it. Okay, let's try to think what's going on. Let's think what is going on. What did I change in my environment? Less static, but yeah. What did I change in my environment? No, it's not a USB mic. Trying to think, what did I do differently? I did change my setup. 1 second. 1 second. I don't think it's you, Doug. I don't know what's going on with... we did this with James with the video room, and it didn't have that issue. So it's literally something different going on. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna try to change something. I apologize, everyone. Sorry. Give me a moment over here. Okay, test. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now, yeah? Give it a second. The feed will stabilize. You should be able to hear me a lot better now, yeah? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. All right, nice. All right, now the real test is going to be if there's actually any spiking in the volume. That's what we need to find out. If there's any of those weird kind of signals going on. You can hear me. Cool. Yes, it's better and not as quiet. Okay, interesting. Kumo's holding your breath. No static is good. Keep holding your breath. Seems so fine so far. No static. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking. What else did I miss in the chat? I'll just keep reading messages. Doug saying a lot of trial and error. Cool. What else? Anyone play Corelight? No static. Seems so fine. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Nixa. Good to have you back as well. No static. Seems to be okay. Test. Nice and crispy. Cool. Woo. Kumo, you can breathe now, I guess. Working on your lung power over there. Seems good. Is it time? It's time for a little emoji. Yeah, little emoji action. Yeah, nice and crisp. Okay, so far no static. That's a good sign. I think I may have figured out what it was. We'll see. Hopefully there's no more static. And if there is no more static, then it definitely was what I think it was. So gonna have to go and mess around with this setup a little bit more another time. Sounds great now. Yeah, some kind of weird interference was going on. Okay, so far so good. No static. All what I did was, so my my Quest 3 headset was near the access point charging, and apparently I guess that caused it. Maybe that's what caused it before too. But all I did was just remove that, and I just charged it somewhere else. So my desire for VR gaming apparently is too much of an issue, causing interference. Facebook's always watching. Meta, yeah. Meta. Gotta watch out for Meta. Hot damn. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the Meta headset is emitting a lot of interference with my access point, which was somehow tripping my computer, which is plugged in. So that's really weird. Welcome to networking, everyone. Welcome to networking troubleshooting. So, so I guess a small lesson for everyone inside the room is always ask yourself, like, what changed? Like, what's different from the baseline? So I kind of looked around and was like, I doubt it. Like, it's just charging over there in the corner. But apparently that was enough. That's all it was. Interesting. Okay, well, I appreciate everyone's patience. Sorry about all that. Demoria used to work tech for... Yeah, it's hard trying to explain something like that to users, right? Yeah. Damn. And I was looking at the stats. I had no like dropped frames. Everything seemed normal. So that's weird. Cool. Alrighty. Well, lesson learned. So yes, everyone ready? Everyone excited? We're going to do the last little bit of malware traffic analysis, and then we're going to bring Doug on the stream. And Doug is going to do some adversary tactics demonstration for us with analysis. We are currently on lab network traffic analysis anomaly detection. So let me just get myself all set up back here now. So if you take a look at the screen, we are on lab network traffic analysis anomaly detection. Let's go inside of our systems, get our Windows workstation powered up. And this is the same PCAP that we were doing in the previous lab. So we were at endpoint metadata. So we're inside of the network traffic analysis PCAP. In the last lab that we did last week, we left off, we just did a lot of user agent string inspection, matching the string inside there to known operating systems, MAC address lookups, etc. So that was last week. We kind of left things off just performing metadata analysis and finding out what these endpoints actually are. Now today, let's go and finish up that PCAP, and then we'll bring Doug on. So we got a little bit more to go, and we have 4 more questions that we want to answer. The first question is going to be: a Windows executable file was downloaded over HTTP. We need to find out what it was. And then we want to, what is the result? Oof. 1 second. Wow. Can't type apparently. That's been there for a while too. What is the result of Get-FileHash for the Windows executable file? What is the detection rate for the hash on that VirusTotal? And what is the user account name that downloaded that file? So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Cool. Let that load up. So everyone get your systems powered on, Windows workstations. No CI, no sugar in the coffee. Look, this is Canada. We don't eat sugar. Just maple syrup. That's it. There's no refined sugar in our foods or coffee. It's just maple syrup. Totally trolling, by the way. But for real, no sugar. No. Black coffee. I like the taste, you know? Yeah, exactly, Doug. It's right. Every single house up here, we got a tree in our backyard. We just tap it. Tap the tree. Put the coffee right underneath the tree. That's what we do. Like this. And just like maple syrup right from the tree. Boom. But I actually, I'm not kidding. So when I actually do put sugar in things, it's typically honey or maple syrup. It's one or the other. I not like table sugar. Okay, I think the system's up and running now. Yeah, let's take a look. Connect. Boom. All right. That's right. KS. Wireshark. Do. Wireshark. Cool. Okay. So first question. A Windows executable file was downloaded over HTTP. What was it? So when you get a question like this, and this could happen with just about anything that you're using, this could be like a Linux file. It could be just about anything. So where do you start? Where do you start, right? Well, you have to ask some questions. What does a Windows executable file look like? What does it look like over HTTP? So let's load that up. Network traffic analysis PCAP. Fire that back up again. 6, your kid just followed up with Grandma Shark. Yeah, nice. Do. Come on, Wireshark, you can do this. Did I actually double click it? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Yeah, it always takes a little bit to fire up the first time. Then we're going to be in much better shape after that. Nice, cool. We have like 40 people here in chat. All right. Twitch still hasn't improved the emotes, so there should be a coffee emote coming. So look out for that. Okay, so as always, no need to update anything. We can skip this version, remind me later. It's all good. So we're back over here. So KS was talking a little bit over there saying, well, HTTP, right? Well, let's go and kind of figure this out, right? If we just did a search for HTTP, this is a lot of content. You know, it's really funny. This PCAP actually has Black Friday stuff in it. What timing, huh? That was not planned. This is an older PCAP. This is actually a PCAP courtesy of Malware Traffic Analysis. So funny that it actually has Black Friday inside of it. Anyways. Okay, so we got some good deals coming for you on Tuesday. Don't you worry. So what do we do, right? Like, if we need to find a Windows executable inside of here, we need to figure out what a Windows executable file actually looks like from a metadata perspective and how we can identify what it looks like inside of a network capture. So lab steps over here actually kind of walk you through that a little bit in the beginning. And if you look up this article over here, it's actually going to pull you over to Microsoft documentation. And we're trying to figure out, what does a Windows executable look like inside of like a capture, a log, an event. And you can sure bet that just about whenever any binary is executed, or whenever there's like a file moving around, we've learned a lot already, right? About headers, like headers to things. So let's go back and see what, like this stuff here in the bottom left, right? The packet details. These are all headers. They just contain information. Here's the hypertext transfer protocol header. Here's the get request header. Here's the request URI, which is an HTTP header inside of the HTTP protocol header that goes inside of a packet when it's kind of moving along the wire. So I want you to get real familiar and become aware about this concept of headers, because you're going to see it all the time. And we talked a little bit about this already, that conceptually they kind of look like this. Like they're blocks. And every single time there are blocks in front of other blocks, you can pretty much bet that they are going to be a header for something inside of it. And the way that Windows and networking, Linux, and all these operating systems work is when they read those streams of zeros and ones, the first thing that those zeros and ones need to communicate are what is the following information trying to convey. So those zeros and ones are flagged and switched on in certain ways to be interpreted to understand what's coming up next. So if we had like a version header, it would kind of look like a bunch of zeros and ones and a certain set or sequence of them. The computer would read it and be like, oh, this is a version header. So therefore, anything coming after this is going to tell me the version of this packet or this software or this protocol. That's how that works. And then there's going to be some type of signal at the end to be like end of header. Then there's going to be the header length, which again is going to have a sequence of zeros and ones that's, when read, it's like, oh, this is the header length, and so forth. This is the time to live header. This is the protocol header. So that's really how data is moved along over the wire. Header, which is kind of like a label, you know, like a category, if you want. It says, here's the label, here's the category, here's the header, and now here's the value or the information within it, and then this is the end of the header. Next. And repeat and repeat and repeat. So with that in mind, there are also things called file headers. And file headers have a certain number, a certain value. These are called magic numbers. So if I were to do like file header magic number list, I don't know, maybe someone's list of file signatures. Here you go. Magic numbers. Let's see if they listed this out. Cool. Okay. So when we set a JPEG to a website, if you download a JPEG, what's actually happening is there's a value over here that's interpreted, be like, okay, this is actually part of a JPEG file. Same like a PNG. Same with zip files. Everything has a header. It has a value, a unique value that represents what it actually is supposed to be. Here's our Windows executable. It has what's called an MZ header. Now, why? So if you scroll through the Microsoft documentation, you can see that Microsoft actually refers to their binaries as portable executables. They're in PE format. Now, what actually it looks like, moved along, there should be a snippet over here. Here we go. There is actually this thing called an MS-DOS stub. And the message over here says this program cannot be run in DOS mode when the image is run in MS-DOS. That's going to be a stub. It's attached to all of the PE files, all of those Windows binaries. So if we were to say that we wanted to look for a Windows file, a Windows executable, then we want to go and search exactly for that. Now, there's a number of ways you could do that. I am personally a big fan of the contains filter in Wireshark, which you'll get a lot more exposure to. And it's contains is effectively saying, search for this pattern. So if I were to do something like IP protocol, so IP contains, and we saw it said this program. So let's just go and do IP contains this program, which, there we go. Don't forget the capital T. It's not case sensitive, or rather it is case sensitive. So if I search for IP contains this program, which is apparently the stub over here, and let's take a look at what that looks like. So MZ header DOS stub. This is kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for this text over here that says this program cannot be run in DOS mode. Now, I searched for IP contains this program. Now, wouldn't you know it, this program cannot be run in DOS mode. So here it is. You can actually see it. Here's the data. This is a snippet. So if I'm searching for Windows executable files downloaded, which is typically like malware and stuff, typically, or like installers or software, but in this case, in this analysis, in this lens, we're thinking about it from like a malware perspective, right? So we're looking for a Windows executable. Zipet, thanks for the follow as well. So if I go and follow this stream now, let's just kind of take a peek at this so you can see what it looks like. You can see that there was a download request for 40group.tiff. But let me tell you something. I had this inside of our newsletter actually this last week. Packets never lie. Okay. You can spoof them all you want. The truth's going to come out. Packets never lie. There's a reason for that. Supposedly, in this capture, someone downloaded 40group.tiff. So they performed an HTTP GET request. The host went to acjabogados.com. That's where they downloaded it from. Server responded with the file. That means it was there, it was hosted. But it also contained MZ. This program cannot be run in DOS mode. That's not the file header for a .tiff file. .tiff file header magic number. Oh, that's right. I have a link over here. TIFF. There you go. This looks like 49494E31. That's not what we're seeing. It's not what we're seeing at all. Let's go back to our filter. MZ 4D5A. I don't see that TIFF sequence inside there at all. What I do see is 4D5A of the MS-DOS executable. 4D5A, here's your magic number, MZ. This is not a TIFF file. It's masquerading as a TIFF file. It's just been renamed. The file extension has just been changed from .exe to .tiff. Packets never lie. The packet is showing us this. This is how you perform analysis. This is malware traffic analysis. We have identified a file masquerading as something else. This is a malicious file. This is a bit of a teaser. This is where you're going with cybersecurity. You've been doing a lot of IT, but this is what this is the security arm of it now. A huge component of security is integrity. Can we trust what we're seeing? And right now we have failed the integrity check. We cannot trust that this file is what it is. Alert. This is where we should set off our alerts. Pretty cool, right? So for those of you that were thinking, like, what does the security side of things start to look like? That is the subset of IT. Well, the IT side would be to use Wireshark for network traffic analysis for like bottlenecks, or users having Meta Quest 3 headsets apparently screwing up their Wi-Fi. That's IT. The security side is much more related around to, they call it the CIA triad. We'll talk about that later. But effectively, is there anything malicious hiding? Or is there anything that can compromise the ability to trust what we're seeing? Or flat out deny our availability to it? So this is a bit of a security lens now, building off of our IT skill set of performing protocol analysis. So how did we even get here, right? We learn how to perform protocol analysis by understanding what the protocols are before, common ports, common protocols, what they should look like. We learn about the IP protocol. And what we're looking for here is a filter searching for anything based off the IP protocol. And you can use something called the contains filter in Wireshark, which is super powerful. It's effectively like performing a Google search against your PCAP data. So if I were to say like this program contains MZ, you'll see it here pop up again, but for just what the MZ actually is. You could do maybe something even like HTTP contains MZ. And here's all the information related to anything around the MZ file header that was picked up on. Super cool. So the contains filter is really, really powerful. IMT, thanks for the follow as well. Thanks for being here. So I think we've been able to answer our first question. A Windows executable file was downloaded over HTTP. What was it? So it was the 40group.tiff file. Now we know what we need to look for. So we can do something super cool with Wireshark. We can go to export objects, HTTP, and remember, this is a packet capture. So if I were to go here inside of HTTP and I want to look for my TIFF file, here we go, file name, 40group.tiff. So actually, wait, before I want to load too fast there. If I do export objects, here is all of the captured like JPEGs, PNGs, CSS files, JavaScript, HTML, you name it. All of the different like files that you see, pictures, movies, if it was able to be captured, anything. It's all captured inside of here. We can now extract it for offline analysis. We're now able to perform forensics. Now, what we want to do is get that 40 group.tiff file, and we want to save this. We're going to use our workstation here as a sandboxed environment for us to perform malware traffic analysis. This is what we're doing now. So let's go ahead, and I want to save this file, and I'm just going to throw it on the desktop. It's fine. Save. Whoops, I already did that. Close that. Minimize this. Close that. Minimize this. 40group.tiff. Now, if you were to download this as a user, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a TIFF file, right? Windows is interpreting it for what it is. It says it should open up inside a Windows photo viewer, look at security, details, previous versions. Like, there's nothing standing out about this file. We can do more. So a little shortcut, if I hold left shift or just shift and I right click on a desktop, I can open up a PowerShell window right here. So let's go hop inside PowerShell. And what we want to do next is we want to get the file hash. We want to get the signature. And we haven't learned a whole lot about signatures yet. And I'm gonna pause there for a moment. This chat's kind of quiet. Usually they're kind of bumping around. So is anyone having like trouble following what I'm doing so far? Kind of pause there. Is anything unclear about that process? KS is watching, yeah. I mean, if you want to lurk too, that's totally fine. Lurk away. But I'll pause here for some questions too. Good so far. Super neat. Cool. Karina's good. So you're all just in the zone. All right. Looks good so far. A bit lurking as they're cutting the grass too, but this is my jam. Nice. Yeah. No questions from Demorier. Sweet. Cool. Clear, clear, clear. Nice. All right. Cool. I'm trying to keep the pace like a little slow, digestible, because this is a pretty big step from what we just did, right? We were just doing protocol analysis. Now we're going to go a little under the hood. So we've got the file. It's not a TIFF. What we want to do next is get the signature. We want to get like the thumbprint, you know, like a fingerprint. I have a unique fingerprint. So do you. So does everyone. That's what I want. And that's what a signature is. It is a unique fingerprint about this file. If I get that, I can perform some online lookup and analysis to see if anyone's been able to determine if they've seen this file in the wild before. This is part of your like security analysis step. So we have PowerShell open. We're going to run the commandlet of Get-FileHash. And it's called 40group.tiff. Cool. Put that over there. Let's run that again. That's better. Cut it. Good old PowerShell. You see? Gonna take another slight at PowerShell. If this was Bash, it would have just wrapped the text around, right? But PowerShell's like, oh no, I'm just gonna like trim that off for you. I need the hash. I need the whole hash here. Come on, PowerShell. Something you shouldn't truncate or trim off. Can we put the file in autopsy? Oh, KS. We're gonna look at some forensics. Yes, we're gonna pull up some autopsy later in -3 when we start introducing you all to the virtual SOC, because you need to learn a little bit about DFIR, basically digital forensics incident response. A light intro to it. Okay, so hash. Let's get this, and we're just gonna right click it. Now, so it's just that's a difference between a file hash signature was with that. Cool. Okay, man, I'll answer the question. Sounds good. Crosses. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yes. So we're going to learn more about hashes and such. High level statement for now means if I were to take this file and run it through a mathematical algorithm, we talked a little bit about that on the three-way handshake stream. If we run it through the SHA-256 algorithm, it'll spit out this unique value. So instead of us trying to open up the file, read it all, do an analysis. You can crunch the data of the file through an algorithm, and it spits out a hash, which is the signature, and that's the thumbprint. If you want a better visual, that's like saying, this is just like a little booklet over here, right? But imagine this was like an ink pad, and imagine I got my thumb and I like put my thumb in it and I got my thumbprint. That's kind of what happened, is you took the data here and you put it inside of an algorithm, and then out comes the thumbprint or the signature, and that's called a hash. So what we want to do now is take this hash and perform an online analysis of it, like an online lookup. This is called OSINT, open source intelligence. So we're going to go and open up our browser, and we're going to go to a tool. The file changes at all, then the hash changes. Correct. Yes, the hash is unique. Kind of like if I got my thumb and I cut my thumb, it would never be the same. Like, that'd be terrible. But you know what I mean? It would never be the same fingerprint anymore, right? Like it would have like a line through it. That's what happens when you do that, like with a file. If you changed it around, the hash, the signature changes. Even the slightest amount, even like a space that enters inside the data changed. And we're going to learn more about why that happens later too. So let's go, and we're going to look at a website called VirusTotal. Now, we haven't seen this before. Some of you might have, but for those of you, this is your first time looking at it. VirusTotal is an online threat intelligence and malware analysis platform. That's what that is. It allows you as a user to drop files, URLs, you can search for things, you name it. And what it does is whatever we give it, it's going to run it up against a bunch of antivirus engines, sandbox environments, their own intelligence, their own analysis, and what they have on it. And any type of community, if the community has found this file before, there's going to be reports and results on it. And this is all done by getting the hash. Now, I could also drop the file. You can do that too, but I'm actually going to put the hash inside here right at the top. So let's look that up. And this is something you can do right now. Like if you're in IT, or if you're getting started in IT and a user downloads something weird, they open up an email, they downloaded a weird Excel document, you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Run it through VirusTotal. This is a sandbox malware analysis and threat intelligence sharing platform. So take a look. This isn't good. Take a good look at what our results are showing. So we can kind of look at this right away. And security vendor analysis. AVG, Bitdefender, Claim AV, which we saw before, MSoft, you name it. Google, they've all detected that this is actually a virus. Now, it doesn't always mean that it is a virus. It just means that it has patterns that a virus would also use. Because you could write your own code and it could get flagged here and it's not actually a virus. Just keep that in mind. So this is an indicator. So it's saying that the score is 60 out of 75, 60 out of 74, but the community score is actually minus 45. Bit of a disparity. So this file is actually called Santo Marisoya.exec. This is the real name of the file. This is what it's been located and understood as. Let's take a look at the details. You can see the thumbprint of this file in multiple hash formats now. So other algorithms spit out different hashes, and there's different purposes, which we'll dig into later. We can see this is a Win32 executable, the PE32 executable, so that's a portable executable format. The file size, 380 kilobytes. We can see that it looks like the creation time was this back in 2019. Last submission analysis, well, that's today. That's us. First seen in the wild on November 5th in 2019. It also masquerades as different file names. It masquerades as maybe malware.tiff, suspected malware, maybe malware, ACJ. There's a whole bunch of random names that it could be. GAD.exe, you name it. Department Act, Virus 40. So if you were doing threat intelligence and cybersecurity research, these are names that you want to then search for and put inside your rules, like your firewalls, your antivirus. If you see these things downloaded, or if you see a user tries to put this on their system, you're going to block that. If you see these hashes appear on your network by running the Get-FileHash check, block that. That's why we're doing this, to understand what we're looking for to be able to defend against it. So we have a whole bunch of details. Let's take a look at the community now. So let's see what people have said. Yep, so this person, it looks like they're doing an analysis themselves. Like I said, this is a PCAP that we've, courtesy of Malware Traffic Analysis. So obviously good for like labs for us to learn. So people have talked about this. They're saying it's potentially malware, iced ID. So now we have community. And you, when you become analysts in the field, you can go and provide commentary here, help one another out. Very cool. So it looks like someone here has actually provided a Yara. Actually, no, there's no Yara rule over there. Never mind. Kumo saying VirusTotal is great. Just careful with company data policy and API. Yes. That is when uploading to any external services, really. So yeah, good point to highlight over there. When you're doing labs and stuff like this, that's fine. Your company will have preferences and policies on how to handle incident response, because if this gets out, well, like, then that's your company property. You could get in trouble. So you just have to check your policies first. KS things like Steam reviews, but for yeah, there you go. So it's like Steam reviews. It's like a little review board. For what it is. So what is the result? Bad. Better to use the hash. Yes, typically Demoria, you want to use the hash, not the file itself, because if you upload the file gets fully analyzed. The hash is just a thumbprint. So when in doubt, you can probably get away with just using the hash, but always double check your company policy too, if you're doing this for work. You could also, depending on your company, you can actually set up like a local sandbox in your environment. You can perform your own analysis as well too, which we're going to learn about in our home lab later. You're going to learn how to build your own little malware analysis sandbox environment yourself to be able to do this. So, detection rate, bad, 61, I think it was, or something out of 70. File names are easier to change than hashes. Hot garbage, yes. Yes. Karina. Yeah, and hot garbage, we're actually going to show that later. The file name is not necessarily representative of the hash. It's the data. The file name, like if we went back inside here, I'll point this out to you. Go back to details. Notice that here are the hashes, like the thumbprints, but they can all go by other names. Here. The name doesn't matter. It's what's inside. The name is like a container. It's another header. That's all it is. Just another header. And when we're running these thumbprint algorithms, we're just looking at the data inside. Pyramid of pain is real. Yeah, we're going to talk about pyramid of pain. I love that. Karina, side question. If the hash is unique to this file, is the hash a compressed version of the file? No, it's not. Let's go back to the inkpad. If I put my thumb into the file, into the inkpad, I have a thumbprint of my thumb, but it's not my thumb. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of just one. It's just like the. What's a better way to say this? It's the reflection of the rest of my thumb. Just like the hash is, it's a reflection of the rest of the data at a very high surface level, and it can only ever be that. You don't care about the rest of the thumb and my hand and everything, because we just want to classify it by the thumbprint. Yeah. Screenshot. Snapshot in time, as Doug's saying. Yeah, wait until we get it. We're going to do that in cryptography. We're actually going to go through hashes and everything. Think of it as carbon print. Yeah, it's the receipt, but not the original. If your thumb was burnt or altered, then the hash changes. Yep, same thing. Cool. Okay, so I think we have one last thing to do. So what is the user account name that downloaded the file? Well, let's go back to our Wireshark. And let's go back to that original filter of IP contains this program. Now, take a look at the destination. So the server responded to the destination IP of 10.11.11.203. That means that is the source IP that downloaded or made the request for the file. So that's actually where it went. Thanks, KS. Yeah, the labs are fun. Okay, so do you all remember from last stream how we got the username? Kind of open it up. Otherwise, I'll just walk through it too. Remember how we got the username from the last lab? Also, spaced out turtle. Thanks for the follow. Turtles are always welcome on stream. Who wants to take a stab at it? Yeah, there you go, Zeno. Kerberos, cname.string. Kerberos, cname.string. Yeah, so Karina, we talked a little bit about that. We're going to look at it more as well, too, in the help desk analysis. But Kerberos is an authentication protocol, and that any of the authentication protocols are good or a pretty good chance for us to determine where a username would live. So when in doubt, if you're looking for usernames inside of a PCAP, ask yourself, where do usernames belong and in which protocol? Okay, now you get a protocol and then you do some research. Where do you find the username inside that protocol in a network request? So in this case, the Kerberos protocol, it's actually still there from before. Nice. So the Kerberos protocol has a header inside there called the cname string, and the cname string would contain the username. So let's go and do this, and we want to put 10.11.11.203. Well, hello, Candace Tucker. I have found you. And remember, I have the cname string as a column from the last lab, so that's why that actually popped up over there. But you would find that inside of the Kerberos header, the request body, cname string, Candace Tucker. Candace Tucker, I don't know what you were downloading. I don't know whether you compromised the network, but we're going to have a conversation. 40group.tiff is a malicious payload, and we can't have that on the network. So that's what's happening next. Was Candace the one, or was Candace's machine compromised? But now we've been able to identify. So the scenario here happened. Yeah, that's right. Cap has a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare to someone like you. I think that's what he says, yeah. So We've been able to determine that Candace Tucker downloaded 40group.tiff, or at least their workstation did, and their workstation name is Tucker Win 7 PC. Downloaded the 40group.tiff file, which we're able to identify was masquerading as that file name, because truthfully, the file header is a portable executable, which is a Windows executable binary. So we just did a bit of an analysis hunting down that activity. This is, so for everyone that's watching, this is malware traffic analysis. This is what you would do in cybersecurity. If you were a cybersecurity analyst, SOC Tier 1 analyst, you would be doing things like this. Looking up hashes, looking up IPs, looking up usernames, looking up file headers, exporting objects for analysis, putting them through a sandbox environment. Welcome to Class 12. This is your first taste. You've actually performed the beginnings of cybersecurity analysis. This is like a Tier 1 analyst type of IOC, an indicator of compromise to inspect. It's not that far out of reach, is it? We're in Class 12. We have like 40 classes on this. So we're getting there. CI is asking, what is sname? Cname? Kerberos cname.string. So this is where we grabbed it last time. Client name. So last time we did an analysis looking at the protocol. And remember, you have to ask yourself, like, what are the questions? I want to find a username. Where do I find a username in network traffic? Think about where usernames are passed. Usernames are passed through authentication protocols. Remember, everything is through a protocol. So then the next question is, which protocols are authentication protocols? And then you'll find one. There's more than one. There's several, quite a few. And we just identified Kerberos in this case to kind of zero in on. So then we did some research and found that client name, username is related to the Kerberos cname string. Cool. Makes sense? Good following along? Your first taste of malware traffic analysis? Your first taste of cybersecurity? Who still wants to go inside of cybersecurity now? It's getting a lot more exciting, isn't it? S. Seamer, thanks for the follow. Nice. 6 degree. Let's go. CI, let's do it. All right. Let's do it indeed. Cool. All right. We're going to get Doug on the stream. We're going to take a break. Coffee time. Let's go fill up our cups. The website in the packet. Karina, I need to make you a VIP. 1 second. You're a VIP. Now we should see links when you post them. The website in the packet is probably someone's name. ACJ Abogados. Maybe. That's awesome. That's good thinking. That's really good critical analysis. Like, what does it actually mean? Why is it called ACJ Abogados? Is that what it means? It means the lawyers in Spanish? Interesting. Super cool. Look at that. Karina's performing live threat intelligence for us in the chat. I think you found your calling, Karina, CTI analyst in the making. Very cool. Trust but verify always. CI, sname is under realm. I mean, yeah, so sname is, I think that's service principal, and then cname is canonical name. Like I said, I think it's service principal. Kerberos sname service principal. I'm pretty sure. Service principal name, yeah. So I want you, and I want students in chat, try to get out of the habit of just like, hey, like, what does this mean? In terms of like terms definitions. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know or memorize every, like, I don't know what E-type is. Encoding type? I'm making a guess right now off the top of my head. Trying to find something that I don't know. Okay, R time, maybe that's return time. That's not proving my case either, is it? Okay, PVNO. I don't know what PVNO means. I'm gonna have to look that up. I've never had to use it. So I want chat out. I want you students, as you learn, get out of the habit of like, what does this term or definition mean? And I want you to Google it, and I want you to look it up, because as we talked about before, you are not going to memorize all this stuff. It's impossible. I can't do that. No one can. Your team won't, and you won't when you're in the field either. You just need to remember what you need to know. So try to get out of the habit of like, what does this individual thing mean? Yeah, you're like Tamori is saying, don't get stuck in rabbit holes. Move on. So like in this case, right? Here's the questions. Answer the questions, and then move on. Maybe make a note of something that is like, that's interesting. I'm going to learn on that later, and then come back to it. That's what you need to do. But at the same time, you will not remember everything. That's not how anyone's brain works, right? If we look at number of, so do you remember we did this before? Protocols, common ports. Like, you are not going to memorize this. It's impossible. There's no way you're going to remember all these services and ports off the top of your head and what all of them mean and all the different headers and all the different fields. Impossible. So focus on what's important and what's relative. And as long as you generally understand that there is a list of common ports and that common ports have a protocol, that's your goal. So that as you need, like, oh, this is port, I have traffic coming from port 4333. We've never seen that before. What does that mean? Okay, cool. All right, let's look that up. Interesting. So SQL. We actually have like MSQL. And if that's not normal, you look it up. That's how your approach needs to be developing. Not like random, what does this mean? What does that mean? I really want you all to get out of that habit. It's very common when students first start of like, oh, like I've never seen that. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? But then you're going to bury yourself in a lot of data that is just, it's not effective of your time. That is rabbit holing. So crossing like more for the super specific things first. Yeah, like you're going to use and throw it away. So we're training you more on like the conceptual understanding and then reference what you need, and then remember what you commonly use. That is way, way more important, or else you're going to spend the rest of your life inside of cybersecurity becoming a dictionary. And as I said earlier in the first couple streams, how useful is that? Your goal is not to become Google, to store all that information in your head. Your goal is not to become a dictionary, to just learn and memorize all this stuff. That's not the point. People don't hire dictionaries. They hire people that know how to look at the dictionary and get what they need and perform a result. Okay. I think I'm going to make that a slogan. Don't be a dictionary. DBAD. DBAD. The DBAD protocol. Okay. Don't do it. Karina, is there time for a quick recap of what we just did? Yeah, sure. So, real quick, and we'll take a break. So we had some questions inside of the metadata malware traffic analysis lab. We wanted to identify the following: Windows executable file was downloaded over HTTP. What was it? So for this question over here, we first asked ourselves, what does a Windows executable file look like? And we introduced the concept of file headers. We talked about file headers are another thumbprint, another signature of what the actual file extension is. So we did some research and we found that the file header contains MZ. This cannot be run in DOS mode. We then searched for that. We then found a snippet. We found a packet requesting a file that is a Windows executable file by matching up that magic number. We then got the hash, which is we exported that file from the PCAP to our workstation. We then ran a PowerShell commandlet of Get-FileHash, which gave us the thumbprint, the signature. And then we put that signature inside of an online malware analysis and threat intelligence sharing platform called VirusTotal. It gave us a score and a bunch of community results to confirm that this is actually malware. That's what happened, Karina. And then in terms of finding out who downloaded it, we utilized an authentication protocol, which can capture usernames inside of a network capture. And then we searched for an authentication protocol called Kerberos. And there is a request sequence that happens inside of Kerberos that contains usernames. And then we searched for that, which is called the cname. And the cname string contained the value of Candace Tucker, which was the source IP that downloaded the Windows executable, which we have confirmed to be malicious.